So between like acting with hit projects and running a business, how did becoming a monk enter the picture?
It's actually it's actually a funny story actually. It's very rare for someone who just somehow just say like, I want to be a monk, right? But it happened to me. To be a monk, you have to reach 20 years old to be able to ordain as a
Right.
monk. But
Right.
before that, you're kind of like the junior monk,
Right.
which is less strict.
Mm-hmm.
Once I have a kind of like plan in my head. Like once I reach 20, I'm gonna do it because I just want to know like how is it like, and I just really want to learn as well. Like how can I live in pretty much a chaotic world? Because I know myself, I'm a really hot-headed person, so I just really want to know like how do I calm myself down? How do I learn to be a better person? But at that time, I've been diagnosed with ADHD.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's mean I will rely on medication,
Mm-hmm.
right? So my kind of weird brain was thinking like, what if there's no medicine? How do I navigate myself
Right.
through
Using
that?
your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a mom. I'm gonna learn how to control myself. I'm gonna learn how to, be calmer and understand more about myself. And then I just did that.
But Peach Chirathivat, more commonly known as Peach, is one of Thailand's biggest actors, currently starring in the Netflix crime drama series The Believers. Peach is also a musician, social entrepreneur, and among his many businesses is Potato Corner Thailand. In this episode, we talk about finding your path, dealing with failure, and doing more for the world. Listen in.
In our 20s, we're more reckless in a sense,
Yeah.
and in our 30s, we're more okay. Let's think about this a little bit more. Just to rewind back, so when did your dad come to terms with you not being an engineer, and when was he like, okay, I get it, I see what you're doing?
I think once I start getting to the university and I was really, really, happy with it, he was like, okay, maybe you made the right choice. And then once I start doing business and it's started doing well, he was like, okay, you
Yeah.
can go on and do your thing. Just be whoever you are, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I asked that because a lot of Filipinos are able to relate to that their parents sort of dictate to a degree what they want their kids to take up in college or university, or what they want them to be when they grow up. And a lot of the people who write to paano ba to are in that dilemma, like, I want to do this but my parents expect me to do this.
Yeah.
And so how you have made decisions proves that it can be done. You can follow your heart.
Yeah. I think like whatever you do, you should follow like your gut instincts, like I want to do this, so just do it, but committed to it. I think that's the key word, like when you really think that you want to do something, you have to go to the ends of it.
Yeah.
You don't give up
Yeah.
midway.
Right.
Yeah.
In that same article, you talked about coming to terms at this age with mistakes you've made in the past. And you've touched a bit about it earlier. But right now, in this phase in your life, what are your thoughts on dealing when you do take missteps? Because it doesn't go away, right?
Yeah.
Just because we're older doesn't mean we won't make wrong/stupid decisions. So
Yeah.
now, what's your mindset when it comes to that, dealing with, oh, shit, I made a mistake?
It used to be the end of the world to me when I made a mistake.
Like you wanted the earth to open up and
Yeah.
eat you alive. Absolutely.
Yeah. Once you, I guess I'm not that old. But then the more you go through mistakes, you start to come to terms that in your life you will always make a mistake. It's unavoidable. That's a realities of it. So you go do make mistakes as much as you can, but learn from it. I think that's the key thing.
Yeah.
If you learn from it, then it's not really a failure. It is another way of just doing things wrong.
Yeah.
It's like it's a learning kind of process out of it. If you can take something away from that mistakes, it's a success by itself.
Right.
Yeah. At least you become more complete, you gain more insight,
Yeah.
and you fucked it up less.
Yeah.
I think that's my how I see it now.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree with that. And I'm sure that lesson has shown itself to you many times because you have several businesses as
Yeah.
well. What has that journey been like off camera, off the screens, in business mode?
Oh, it's really difficult. It's different from how I see it. I used to think that it should be easy, right? But along the way, there's a lot of like new learning things keep popping up. We start really young, me and my friends. Since we graduated, we start doing business, and that's a potato corner. We didn't have a clue how to run a restaurant whatsoever. So on the first few stores, we need to carrying like bottled water to the store because we failed to do the right stock. We didn't know the inventory that well. So it's a kind of learning things.
Yeah,
and
birthing pains. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's tricky, like we just have to figure it out by ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's not like something you can learn from the book.
Right.
Like we've been through business school. There's some like accounting terms, some of the technical stuff. But
Yeah.
on the real world, it's different. It doesn't play by the book at all. Once you start figuring out the problem, you're like, it's something that I learned from school, but I don't know how it related to that. And then you
Right.
figure it out, theories by yourself.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not really like a rosy journey at all, and especially in Thailand where everything shifts like quickly. People just like get on with something and then they get bored and then they
On
went
to
to
the
the
next.
next thing. So we need to keep on going, inventing new things. We
Yeah.
keep on doing new products all the time.
Yeah.
It's a kind of something that we didn't really know how to do it at the start.
So how did you learn how to do it eventually?
Well, some of it fail still, but we just got to keep trying. Then we have our expectations of it. We have more methodologies into it. We have more the target group discussion as well. We have more samplings. So we have that
Yeah.
kind of thing as we go on. But
Yeah.
the thing is, you just got to keep doing it and keep failing. Once you fail, you learn. Then
Yeah.
you adapt, and then you fail again. And then
Yeah.
it's just like the iteration loops of
Right.
how it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So in your career thus far, something I guess interesting happened during the pandemic because it was when I'd say your eyes opened and became more passionate about food inequity.
Yeah.
And that's when you started your social enterprise.
Yes.
Please tell us about that.
It started out, the thing in Thailand, whenever there's like natural disaster or any crisis, right? All the actors or celebrity in Thailand has to do something. We have to be kind of like the first responder to like donate something. So I did the same thing. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, everybody's doing it, so I guess I should do it too. So I do kind of like emergency package,
Right.
with rice, with
Right.
milk,
Same
with
here
water.
in the Philippines. Yeah.
So I invest. Let me put into pesos. I'm trying to calculate it. Around like 100,000 of pesos to do 300 bags, and then I distribute it.
Right.
In my local communities, because at that time people were actually lying on the street. They can't afford to pay the rent, so they
Right.
sleep on the side of the road.
Wow.
Yeah. So then, okay, we give it out, but then there's a weird question that pop up in my head, like, but what if I want to help more than that? How do I do it? It doesn't make sense if I went into work my ass off to make more bags and then donate it. It's not sustainable
Right.
ways of doing
And the bag
things.
will last a week.
Pretty
less.
much 3
Yeah,
days.
right.
Yeah. So, what if you want to help more, and what if you want to not just help at 3 days? What if you want to help them for like a month? Because at that time we don't know like how long the pandemic is
Right.
going to be.
Right.
It doesn't make sense that you gotta work to to donate something. So then I was talking to my friend who is my co-founder as well. I was talking to him like, okay, so how do we make it work? Like, how do we help people on regular basis rather than like just one off and then it's done, right? So then we went through some mechanics, and then we see like social enterprise, and then it's like, it's a kind of hybrid thing between like foundations and businesses. So it's like, and in Thailand, it's right at that point they just recognize social enterprise as well as a different entities as well. So you can make revenue out of it, but then you have to give away 70% of the bottom line to the communities or to the societies, while 30% you can, grow your business, you can, pay yourself. It's a kind of the entity that was like, that's match what we should be doing. So we set it up, we get it past all the process that they recognize us, so then we can do tax a kind of allowance.
Right.
And at that point, we start to bring all the food surplus from the upstream of Thailand. We drive down to like farms. We talk to like farmers. We're like, oh, okay. Do you have anything that it's being thrown away that we could be repurposed for good? So then we work with a lot of like local farms, the factories, and then we bring all the surplus food that is not eaten yet.
Right.
We bring it into our kitchen, and then we reprocess it, and then we sell it like super cheap. We have just margins of like 2 pesos per boxes. Yeah, just to help people. We try to cut down the food prices.
Right.
And with that, we got a call up from like government agency. They were like, okay, now Bangkok is going into a lockdown, the community lockdown. So especially in the slum area, they will lock down so nobody get out of the slum.
Right.
That means there'll be no food.
Right.
They got locked down in their houses. So we're like, all right, so how could we help? We're like, so with this cheap food price, they could distribute to the whole Bangkok. Wow. So that's how we got started.
That is pretty impactful work. Because it's called Aura Social Enterprise. Does Aura mean anything?
It's actually from Hebrew language. It's mean hope.
Wow.
It's like we took the word from the word oracle.
Yeah.
So my friend, he's Christian. So he came up with that word. And then it's a kind of a thing that we do is a kind of hope to people as well.
Right.
And at that time, aura, the word oral, it means mouth. So it's like we're giving hope through like eating. That's how it come to fruition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I read about this, it made so much sense because I 1,000,000% agree with how